New Joker 6 here. Welcome back. Here we go. Today we're going to talk about elementals, elemental combos, and weaknesses of each faction. Now, I do want to keep this a lot shorter than last time. Last time we did hit just about a half hour. Oh, sorry. But I just really wanted to emphasize the importance of modding your weapon. Mods can make or break a weapon, as you saw in the last episode. And when you're modding, you also need to take a look at elementals. The elementals that you're going to stick on. Now, we'll just go to a completely empty configuration here. We're looking at this. You have many different types. Different elementals that you have are... If we just click over here, there we go. We have heat, electric, cold, and toxin. That's it. 4 elemental types. Now, if you look at that, you're going to figure, oh, well, it's only 4. How difficult could it be? Well, that's where you come into combining different elementals. Fire and cold is going to get you blast. Fire and toxin will get you gas. Radiation will be fire and electric. Magnetic will be cold and electric. Viral is cold and toxin. Corrosive is electric and toxin. Along with these, every element and elemental combo has its own status that can be applied if the status procs. So, not only are these going to give you damage, I'm just going to put that over there. This is also going to give you... What am I on here? Dread. I always forget the name of these. There we go. You have any you have your electric mod. There's a molten. Heat. Hellfire. Really? I don't have a ranked up one? Huh. That's interesting. You got Hellfire. And you got your Cold. And what are you missing here? Toxic. Then you got your Toxic. Now keep in mind, since I put these two together, we're making radiation. And since these two are together, it is making Toxin. Now if I were to just swap those two around, now we've got gas and magnetic. If we were to swap these two, now we've got blast and corrosive. So the order that you put your mods in are very important. Now it doesn't matter if this is put all the way up here and then you got a bunch of other mods and then something down here, because it's always going to go with first elemental. And it's going to go through your mod list and then hit the second elemental, and those are the two that are always going to be together to form whatever combination that you were trying to do. Now, taking a look at that, let's take a look at what happens if each were to proc. Heat, the enemy is going to be ignited and do damage over time, so they're going to be set on fire. Cold, if that were to proc, the enemy is going to be slowed down. Electric is a chained electric damage. Toxin is a poison where it's going to do damage over time. But that is also going to go straight through armor, straight through shields. So it's going to go directly to the health. Now, combination types. We're going to look at Blast. It does a stun kind of knockdown effect. So they get knocked right off of their feet, which is great. It could be excellent for things like crowd control. If you have a huge group coming at you and you proc that Blast, they're all just going to go flying and get knocked over. Excellent. Gas. It's like Toxin, where it's a poison, but it is an AoE, a nice area of effect. Radiation. Essentially, it causes confusion. So if you infect one enemy with radiation, he'll attack you, he'll attack other enemies. It's as simple as that. Now, do note that you could be infected with radiation as well if you were to be hit by a laser within the void. And if you are, then that means you can be. I think it's you can, or you can do damage to other teammates. So keep that in mind. Magnetic reduces shields. Viral reduces health, as we saw in the last episode. It cuts the health directly in half, making it just that much easier. But it only lasts for about 6 seconds. Corrosive, as we mentioned before in the previous episode, reduces armor. And that can stack. So if you can keep proccing that corrosive, eventually they're going to have no armor whatsoever, which is going to leave you with pure health, which will just make the enemy easy pickings. Now, if we take a look at the factions, looking at the Grineer, the best thing you can use is to get that puncture up, because a puncture is going to reduce their damage, but puncture is good for any enemy that's covered in armor, such as the Grineer, and corrosive, because it's going to get rid of the armor. Now, certain elementals are going to give you a little bit more damage towards said factions, specifically because of the elemental or the damage. Now, Toxin is still good because it'll go right through the armor and attack the health directly, which I guess if I had to pick one elemental, Toxin would probably be my go-to. But Blast would be horrible, because the only thing Blast is going to be good for is a bit of crowd control. Now, if we take a look at the more fleshy enemies, which would be more so enemies without armor, this would be some of the Grineer, but as well as the Corpus that hide behind their shields. So that would be the enemies that just have a red bar and then a blue bar. They're going to be weak to Toxin, of course, because it goes straight through to the health, and Viral because it cuts that health in half. Slash is going to be good because it's going to take away red off the health, regardless of what the enemy's shields are. Or in the Grineer's case, some of the armor. Impact and gas aren't going to be that effective against the health. However, the Corpus themselves do have shields, and Impact is good against taking the shields down. Once you get down to the health, Impact is not going to be that great. Cold will help against the shields as well, but the best thing you can use is Magnetic. That is what's going to be great. Puncture, you do not want to use because they don't have any armor, so you got nothing to pierce, nothing to puncture. The robotics, which are along with the Corpus, these will be like the Ospreys, the Moas, Bursas, etc. Now, they also have shields, so keep that in mind, but at the same time, their health, since they are robots, electricity is going to be your best go-to element if you have to go with a single. But at the same time, radiation is okay, puncture is alright. And then that just leaves us with the infested, where gas is going to be great. It's going to be excellent, but slash is going to have that bonus damage because they're just flesh. They have no armor. They have no shields, and heat. They're also weak to fire. If you have to, yeah, good job, mouse. Work faster. Work faster. Work better. If you have to go with a single element, then go with the heat. So, summing up their weaknesses: Grineer, puncture, and corrosive, excellent. Toxin is good. Corpus, flesh and health. Flesh and health? Corpus. Toxin, viral, magnetic. Those are the kind of things that you're going to look for them. The robotics, which are again with the Corpus, so the magnetic, electricity, excellent. The infested, I'm going to have to say slash and heat. But gas is also a great choice. Personally, I don't like gas myself. but it is a good choice going up against them. And that, all you gotta do is just mix your elementals around. So again, if we take a look, you got heat. If we mix that with electricity, we're gonna have radiation. If we mix that heat with the cold, we're gonna get blast. What are we looking at here? Heat and cold. Alright, we take away that heat and we have cold and the toxic. We're gonna get viral. If we have the toxic and electric, we're gonna get corrosive. Now there should be images on the screen during this to show you, to help keep in mind what each faction is weak against, as well as I'm going to try to leave a link in the description below to an image that you can download yourself to help you with memorizing all the elemental combos and what makes what. Now, what I did forget to leave out, I didn't forget to leave out, I did leave it out. If you put the cold and electric is how you're going to get that magnetic. And that leaves us with heat and toxin to get that gas, just if you were curious there. Because I know I did leave out those two combos. So, with that, I'm going to say take care, have yourselves a good one, and do keep that in mind when modding. And also keep in mind your what are these called? Why am I drawing a blank now? Polarities. So since these are red, it's because the polarity doesn't match. So it is going to take more. Initially, if we take a look at Hellfire, it's going to take 6, but since this does not match, it's going to bump that up to 8. But if we did put it over here where it does have a dash, just like what this mod has, it's going to cut that in half, so that's only going to be 3. So do keep that in mind when you're modding as well, with both elementals and just modding in general. Which is why you'll see something like over here where we have a lot of green, because you want to match the polarity. So with that, take care, have yourselves a good one. I hope that helped you with weaknesses and elemental combos. My personal favorite is viral. If you can use different configurations for each faction, or you could try and build one, or just build your 3 different weapons in different ways so you can deal with each faction. I'm rambling on now, but with that, take care, have yourselves a good one. Happy modding, and remember, always build with the optimal element for what you're going up against. Happy modding, everybody.